So more than 2.5 million households in Florida do not have electricity this morning. Many of them haven't had power since yesterday. The southwestern part of the state where the storm made landfall was hit the hardest. Just take a look at this. The storm flooded a fire station in Naples, Florida. Firefighters struggled through hip-deep water as they tried to save their equipment. The fire department estimates that there was about 4 feet of water in that station. Okay, so it's not just fire stations that were hit, other places as well. We want to bring in Aleksandra Parrish. She lives in Naples. And Alexandra, you decided to ride out the storm, so you stayed home, and now you find yourself with waterfront property. Not what you had hoped for, not the way you wanted it. So first off, let me just ask you what it was like in the middle of the hurricane. Sometimes people say that it sounds like a freight train coming at your house. What was it like when the hurricane was raging?
It was definitely really loud, and all the palm trees on our property were kind of smashing into each other, and it was very intense. It kind of, I don't know. We usually get a lot of wind where I live, but this was a lot louder. It did kind of sound like a freight train.
And so, how are things now with your house? I sort of joked a little bit about the water, but can you give us a sense of just how high the water came? And I don't know if you've had a chance to look around. It's still pretty early, but what things are like outside?
I can't really see outside. I
Mhm.
tried to, but the sun hasn't risen yet.
Mhm.
So, later I'm gonna look. But inside the house, it was probably 2 feet of water, not 2 feet, 2 inches of water, and then outside, it went in the entirety from the street up to the foundation of my house.
Wow.
And there's still water lines where I can see like the level that the water rose to.
So, I got to give you sort of the hands on hips, finger wagging question, which is why didn't you leave? Why didn't you head towards higher ground before this?
Well, I was actually in Orlando 2 days before visiting my friend, and it wasn't supposed to hit Naples. So when
Mm.
I drove back, I saw the evacuation notice, and I was talking to my parents about evacuating, but they didn't really seem like it wasn't supposed to hit Naples, so they weren't really concerned.
Yeah.
So I chose to stay with them because I would have felt bad if I left my parents.
So we're just showing some video now, which I'm going to guess, but I'm not sure. It may be a transformer sort of explosion. What's your situation with electricity? You have power?
No,
No.
the power was spotty last night, but Florida Power and Lighting, they did an amazing job when they took the power lines and put them underground because we had
Mm.
power through the worst of the storm. Um, Now we don't have it, but we had it until around 7 p.m. last night, and that was after the worst of it was over.
Oh, well, that's good, and I hope you get it back soon. Have you lived in Florida your whole life?
Yes, I've lived in Naples my whole life.
So, every season, I imagine there's some finger crossing as the hurricane season sort of whips up. Does it ever get exhausting, maybe worrying about the way the weather's going to turn, especially when you hear experts talk about, more severe weather in our future?
I think that most Floridians, it's just a part of life when you live down here.
Yeah.
We don't really get too phased by it. But this was definitely a lot worse than I think everybody thought that it would be, especially since I don't really think Southwest Florida had time to prepare for it
Hmm.
because it was supposed to hit further north.
Yeah. Well, listen, Alexandra, I am happy that you're okay and that you've had power up until now, and hopefully the power gets back up. So heed those warnings, though, when people say don't go outside and don't go through, deep water or anything like that, because they say it for a reason. Thanks so much for
Yeah, definitely.
thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.